21.826 to Council Rule 5A. Madam Clerk, roll call please.
Councilmember Hawkins. Councilmember Shanklin. Councilmember Parrish Wright.
Present.
Councilmember Herman.
Present.
Councilmember Corbett.
Present.
Councilmember Rivendell. Councilmember McCraney. Here. Councilmember Reno Weber. Councilmember Owen.
Here.
Councilmember Raymond.
Here.
Councilmember Kramer.
Here.
Councilmember Joseph.
Here.
Councilmember Sines.
Here.
Councilmember Bass.
Here.
Councilmember Chapel.
Here.
Councilmember Reed.
Here.
Councilmember Winkler.
Here.
Councilmember Parker. Councilmember Piagentini.
Here.
Councilmember Benson.
Present.
Councilmember Rui.
Here.
Councilmember Bratcher.
Here.
Councilmember Hudson.
Here.
Councilmember Mulvey Woolridge.
Here.
Councilmember Sean.
Here.
President Anderson.
Present.
Mr. President, you have 26 and a quorum.
Okay. Councilman Herndon, I believe you've got a guest? You have the floor, sir.
John? Colleagues, today we recognize and honor Men Against Gun Violence Kentucky, Inc., an organization born from tragedy but driven by purpose. Founded on September 22nd, 2021, after the heartbreaking loss of 16-year-old Tyree Smith, who was shot and killed by waiting for his school bus. This group of dedicated men chose action over silence. Every morning and afternoon, they stand at JCPS bus stops to ensure that our children arrive at school safely and return home without fear. Their work extends far beyond the bus stop. They build trusting relationships with youth, mentor young people across our city, and serve year-round in neighborhoods most impacted by gun violence. Men Against Gun Violence Kentucky leads community outreach, operates summer and weekend programs focused on peace and self-work, and collaborates with partners such as Armed and Educated, A Hand Up, the ACE Project, Metro United Way, Moms Demand Action, the Bishop's Table, and many others. What makes their service even more remarkable is that they have done this work without formal funding, powered solely by commitment, faith, and a belief that every child in the world deserves safety, dignity, and hope. Today, the Metro Council proudly recognizes Men Against Gun Violence Kentucky for their unwavering dedication to protecting our youth, strengthening our neighborhoods, and building a more peaceful Louisville. I also want to let you know that Senator Rand Paul's office called us and wanted to send Representative Ms. Whitney Meadows to represent him in their honor as well. We welcome that support and thank you for coming. Would you like to? Yeah, representing Men Against Gun Violence is Melissa Rose. Would you like to say something?
I just want to take the opportunity to thank you, Councilman Herndon, Taylor, for assisting us and sitting us on the bus stops as well. Thank you, Metro Council, for letting us here. These individuals, we are family, and we cannot do this without them. They get up in the mornings in Arctic cold and rain and heat. They stand on the squares in these risk areas for their own risk and their own personal lives, because they either have children getting on these bus stops or they care about the children in their neighborhoods. This only works because we're authentic. We don't talk at these children. They know that we live in these neighborhoods, we work in these neighborhoods, they see them washing their cars, taking their garbage out, getting their own kids off the thing, and that's what works, is authentic relationships. You can't pay someone that doesn't know the streets. It doesn't work. They won't listen. Kamal Wells, he grew up, these other individuals, they grew up, and they know what it takes to beat the odds of the struggle. I ask for all of you to consider, from what I saw from standing on a bus stop, is they're dark, they're poorly lit, they're dank, they're blighted. Our kids are in danger only from traffic enforcement. I almost got hit standing on a curb at Amy and Ali because the only thing flickering was a light at a church that was not inhabited at the time. So I ask you, when you're looking for funding to help us make these pathways better and safer for these kids to walk to school, is that you give us the funding for better lighting and more traffic enforcement, as well as recognize that we need need to get our volunteers to do it on their own, without payment, certified in CPR, first aid, and stop the bleed training, which we're trying to arrange from a public safety standpoint. But if you're on that committee, if you're running for office, this is what we need. We get calls every day to expand our bus stops to the south side of town, to the southeast side of town. We get calls for more stops in Park Hill, Parkland. We don't have that many volunteers right now, but we have big goals. We don't have them yet. So, with that said, that's what we ask for, is you help us make their walk a safer walk to the bus stop and home. And thank you, every one of you. We tell you every day, we couldn't do this without you. Kamal Wells, we could never have done it without you. You lead the way, you lead the charge, and we're thankful for every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, and thank you again to Senator Paul's office. I just want to read the proclamation that everyone will get with their own name on it, and then we'll hand them out real quickly. To all whom these letters shall come, greetings. Know ye that the Louisville Metro Council hereby proclaims you as a distinguished citizen in recognition of outstanding representation of our community, fostering peace, trust, and youth mentorship through Men Against Gun Violence Kentucky, and ensuring the safety of JCPS students by showing up at bus stops each morning and afternoon. We hereby confer this highest honor of all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. In testimony whereof, we have caused these letters to be made, and the seal of the city of Louisville to be hereunto affixed on this date, February 12th, 2026. So, by name and order, Kamal Wells. Michael Kane. I know everybody isn't here. Michael Kane. I know. Okay. Brian Bolts. Richard Whitlock, Jr. Abel Sanchez. Brian Britt. June Wells. They're all working good for them. Adolph Tompkins. Okay, Jesse Hall. Rick Banks. Huh? Okay, Frank Leonti. Ron Calhard, sorry. Ciara Posey. Pamela Johnson. Ben Carter. Antonio Brown. Melissa Hope. Bruce Sweeney. Jabril McMurray. Adrian Sanchez. Albert Arkady. Jeff Gill. Okay. If there are others, we will make sure we get appropriate certificates. Thank you so much. Is there anybody else that needs to call, please get up here. Come on up, please. Thank you. These folks are what I call ordinary heroes. It's very folks who see a need and step in, and you've done that for 5 years, and we are so happy to honor you.
Councilman Shanklin, I believe you got, your special guest or a proclamation or some sort tonight? You have the floor, madam.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to recognize the three outstanding people that run around this building all the time. They're not council people, but they're everywhere. I actually had to try to hold them over there in the corner so they wouldn't get away. But yesterday, was it yesterday? I lost the time, Tuesday. We had 120 kids, everybody knows that. You saw them running, well, not running, but all in the building. And I couldn't have done it by myself. Steve had a program, and I mean, it was about this big. Each one of them had a package, and they knew all about the Metro Council. We had a mock council meeting. I mean, he had everything that they were supposed to say. There's no way I could have typed up that much stuff. Then we went across the hall, across the street to let the kids vote. And they already had questions, what they were gonna vote on. I mean, they had the whole thing for these kids. And you know, out of 120 kids, you expect them to just go wild down here. That didn't happen. We only had one time when they were sort of loud, when they got in the stairwell, you know, you hear yourself echo. And so, of course, one person hollered, and of course, all of them started hollering. So when they got out of the stairwell, they were quiet when they got out. But I mean, they made their noise in there. I also want to recognize Owen, Andrew Owen. He came out and spoke to the kids, and I mean, it really meant a lot. And they listened. He explained all about the legislation, the executive branch, and all of that. And I mean, they really were involved. And there was Betsy showed up and spoke to the kids. And it was just people that were stopping in. Tammy stopped in. And there were people everywhere stopping in just to help out, because when you got that many kids, it's a lot of kids. You know, one person couldn't handle it. So I just wanted to give these guys a little something. And I had to scramble to get these little things because we just had them, had it Tuesday, and when I called each person to give me a little award, it's already wait 2 weeks. So I had to play this is Barbara Shanklin, get this thing. So Cal, I don't know if they're not big, but it meant so much. And the teacher called and said, can they bring them back in March the 8th grade? I said, no way. So we'll only do it maybe once a year. And the good part about it, they never not one time said a negative sound to those kids, and they act like they really enjoy themselves. And so, I know Steve has, you do football or something, he's all the time. One of those sports, I know he's with the kids all the time, so, but it was really something nice, the kids learn a lot, and, just happy that we, Metro Council, could show the kids that, because one day, one of those kids is gonna be the mayor, one of them's gonna be a council person, no telling what they're gonna be, but I guarantee you, those kids are gonna be something around here, and we're gonna know who they are. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Councilman Chapel, you got a guest?
Good evening, everyone. I'm the person with the most hats on Metro Council. It is my honor tonight to be here to recognize someone whose compassion has left an indelible mark on our community. Karen Little's name has become synonymous with dedication, advocacy, and unwavering care of Louisville's community cats. Through her leadership with Alley Cat Advocates, Karen has shown us what is possible when persistence is paired with compassion. And I'm sure in what is a completely random, if not at all perfectly timed coincidence, Karen is retiring in February this month, which is also Spay and Neuter Awareness Month. So if there is ever a person whose life work embodied the very purpose of this month, it is Karen Little. The numbers alone tell a very powerful story. In the last year, Alley Cat Advocates responded to more than 7,800 calls from constituents needing help with cats. And Alley Cat Advocates facilitated 7,000 spay and neuter surgeries in 2025 alone. I started to do the math and then my computer exploded when I was like, how many cats did that prevent? Because it was like, to the nth degree, cats that were prevented from being born in our streets. And behind every spay and neuter is a life made better, a neighborhood supported, and a caregiver who found hope and guidance. And Karen understands the work is not just about statistics, but it's also about dignity and compassion. I'm personally grateful to Karen for the role that she's played in supporting the people behind the work. For example, when a group of people and I needed a place to gather and organize against an animal abuser in the community, Karen opened the doors of Alley Cat Advocates without hesitation and welcomed us warmly. And I was actually back before you all were on the LMAS campus. We were actually headquartered off of Eastern Parkway in District 15. So we were sad to lose you in the district, but glad we gained a much better space. Karen was with us, that little group, every step of the way. She even went to court with us in Bullitt County, and she advocated for cats in a different way than she was normally with spaying and neutering. But it just shows you the kind of compassion that Karen has. And in the years since, I've taken many cats, including a beloved cat, TC, trash cat, over to Alley Cats to get fixed so they could be good members of our community. Karen has been a beacon, an ally, and a steady source of encouragement for many. For more than 2 decades, Karen's steadfast leadership has helped make Louisville a model for humane and effective trap, neuter, and release programs, and we are a national model for that. Because of her efforts, thousands and thousands of cats, again, I'm not doing the math on that, but it's a lot. I would even venture to say hundreds of thousands, but maybe even millions, of cats have been able to have healthier lives. And so her legacy is not only about the programs that she helped build, but also the culture of compassion that she's helped facilitate. Karen, on behalf of residents in District 15 and the entire local community, thank you so very much. Thank you for your years of service, your tireless advocacy, and your extraordinary heart. And I'm going to read the proclamation that we've written to you, and it kind of gives a little bit more stats about Alley Cat Advocates. And you just want to say that you'll have a moment to speak in a second, and Alley Cats isn't going anywhere. There's a new executive director. I've yet to meet them, but I think they're in great hands, and I'm sure that you're still going to be there all the time. So to all whom these letters shall come, greetings. Know ye that the Louisville Metro Council hereby recognizes Karen Little in honor of her dedication and career at Alley Cat Advocates. Whereas Karen Little co-founded Alley Cat Advocates 27 years ago with her husband Hoyt to address concerns she had for community cats, and whereas Karen Little has secured funding and resources, expanded services, and developed educational programs promoting responsible pet ownership and the humane treatment of animals, and whereas in partnership with Louisville Metro Animal Services, the organization built the Karen and Hoyt Little Community Cat Complex, providing a spay-neuter clinic, medical rehab space, and a special needs space with hospice care. Whereas under her leadership, the organization has spayed and neutered over 70,000 community cats, significantly reducing the stray cat population and euthanasia rates in Louisville. And whereas Karen Little has advocated for the understanding that not all cats are suited for indoor living, recognizing that many community cats prefer to live outside and roam, often having multiple homes for sleeping and meals. And whereas the community is grateful for Karen Little's unwavering commitment to all felines and the positive impact she has made through her tenure at Alley Cat Advocates. Now therefore be it resolved, the Louisville Metro Council does hereby honor and commend Karen Little for her outstanding contributions as the founding director of Alley Cat Advocates and for her dedication to humane treatment of community cats, and we wish her a wonderful retirement. We hereby confer this honor with all the rights, privileges, responsibilities thereunto appertaining and testimony thereof, and where the Metro government seal has been affixed. And then it's got my name, and there's a little cat on there, which isn't typical of my signature, and it has a little ear tip on it as well. And just one more thing, I think that you organizing all of those spay and neuters, I think that it also goes to show that you've built relationships with so many veterinarians that have been able to carry out that work, and we have a veterinarian shortage. And so for you to do 7,000 spay and neuters last year alone is incredible that you were able to get that back into your organization. So I just want to thank you so very much. I'm trying to give you the microphone.
Thank you so much. It's a great privilege to be in this community and have watched it be transformed, not just by my vision, but by those who supported our work, because it can't be done by one person, it has to be done by a whole community. So yes, we've altered lots of cats, we've changed lots of neighborhoods, and I've spent the last 6 years planning for a succession that would be successful, so that the organization not only survives moving forward, but also thrives. And we have a wonderful person who starts as executive director on Monday. Tomorrow's my last day. I will be working closely with her for 3 months to make sure that she can carry on the tradition and the good work that you all have very much helped support. This community has transformed itself to one of caring that was not even imagined when my husband and I founded the group in 1999. And again, it wasn't just me. It was all of you and the neighborhoods and the people caring for the cats. So thank you so much, and please keep doing that good work. I will be moving out of state to make sure that the group is successful and we don't meddle. But I appreciate you all so very much and do keep up the good work helping our animals in our community. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, are there any addresses to the council?
Yes, sir, there are.
Let me remind those addressing the council to please refrain from using any profanity or making derogatory statements to council members. We allow 3 people to speak on any one particular topic. If anyone wishes to speak beyond the 3 on that same topic, I regretfully would have to gather the council chair. Madam Clerk, please call the first speaker.
John Anderson.
Good evening, members of the council. Thank you for the time and opportunity to address you. I am John Anderson. I'm a retired Louisville resident, and I am a 27-year U.S. Air Force veteran. I also served 10 years in the civil service with the federal government in Washington, D.C. I've worked with across national security issues with law enforcement and across the interagency. So I speak with a level of experience, at least at the national level, regarding DHS, CIA, and other agencies. And what I want you, the Metro Council, to do is to initiate and approve an anti-mask measure to prevent law enforcement entities from wearing masks during operations in the metro area. Thieves wear masks, robbers wear masks, murderers and terrorists wear masks. They wear masks to hide their identity, to avoid the consequences of their actions. They wear masks deliberately to intimidate and to create fear. Masks embolden the person and subconsciously encourage behavior and actions that the person would not ordinarily do if they were not wearing a mask. And this is why law enforcement personnel do not and should not be allowed to wear masks, because law enforcement personnel are expected to be performing a legitimate and legally authorized activity, and thus there should be no valid reason to hide their identity or to have a need to purposely evade potential consequences, unless under extenuating circumstances should they be prevented from wearing masks. Law enforcement personnel that violate the law, commit unnecessary violence, and exceed community norms should be identifiable, and they should be expected to face appropriate consequences. Law enforcement is a hard job. I salute them, I applaud them, and I respect them. But they still must be held accountable if they cross the line, and masks prevent that. Law enforcement and community safety and stability is a team effort. Effective law enforcement depends upon the trust of the community to do their jobs. A safe community is the result of this collaborative partnership between community members and the law enforcement entities assigned to protect them. And law enforcement cannot afford to threaten that communal trust by wearing masks. Masks send a bad message. Masks.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
your 3 minutes has expired, sir.
All right, well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time and your consideration. And I look forward to the next person.
Thank you. Barbara Hall?
Hi, my name is Barbara Hall, and I'm a resident of District 15. I would like to address Homeland Security's use of face covering. I'm hoping that, like other state and local governments around the country, Louisville Metro Council will take steps to adopt common sense ordinance, a common sense ordinance restricting the use of face covering for immigration and border enforcement officers in our community. ICE and CPD are only supposed to be enforcing immigration-related offenses, nothing more. So there's no reason for them to look like military or secret police. When fully masked, their appearance is menacing, and it makes this old lady fearful. Recently, I saw several older protesters at the Gene Snyder Federal Building. 3 ICE vehicles quietly pulled up and parked on a side road. 5 officers got out and stood by the vehicles. They were unmasked. Eventually, one of the elderly women protesting walked over and talked with the officers. Within minutes, they were smiling and laughing. It was a relief. I asked the lady what she said to them. She asked them what their favorite ice cream was to break the ice. Her pun, and yes, intended. She then asked the officers if they were there to intimidate the protesters. They said no, that was not their intent. If the officers had been masked, she would not have felt as comfortable approaching them. She wouldn't have been able to see them smile, and that's everything. We need to see each other as humans. I think if we start there, we can diffuse a lot of unwanted consequences. Thank you all for your time. All the best to each of you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mary Pledge?
Good evening. Thank you for your time and allowing me to speak on this important issue. It is true there are times when it may be appropriate, even necessary, for law enforcement officers to wear plain clothes, don a face covering, or hide their identity. For example, there are instances when someone may be working under cover, protecting themselves from illness or environmental conditions such as fire or a chemical spill, or working on a case related to an organized crime entity where there is a credible threat of retaliation. However, these concerns typically do not arise in the types of immigration enforcement actions that many ICE officers are now engaged in, which often involve apprehending parents, college students, and community members with no criminal convictions or connections to criminal organizations. In fact, the practice of masking and hiding identifiers can jeopardize the safety of ICE and other federal law enforcement officers by making it hard for other officers or community members to identify them as law enforcement and interact with them accordingly. Some claim that masks are used by officers to protect against doxing, a practice whereby people's personal information is shared, often online, as a precursor to harassment. While any real threats to officer safety should be taken seriously, there are thankfully already mechanisms at the state and federal level aimed at protecting officers from these harmful acts. One of the most troubling trends that has followed this wave of unidentified law enforcement is the rise of vigilantes and dangerous impersonations. People with insidious motives have taken advantage of widespread deployment of masked immigration officers as cover to allegedly harass civilians or commit violent crimes such as kidnapping, robbery, and sexual assault, as recently occurred in North Carolina. Everyday law enforcement professionals across the country get dressed in their uniforms to fulfill their duties and serve their communities. This includes state and local officers who are participating in work that may involve greater risks than immigration enforcement. Federal law enforcement should be held to the same standard of good policing as the Kentucky State Police and Louisville Metro to ensure that policing is safe, transparent, and accountable. Thank you.
Thank you. Anthony Minstein.
I'm gonna pass these down. Sure. Back and forward, thank you. I know we're supposed to make you do this. You want to start now? Take one, President, for me. Forward. Thank you, council. My name is Anthony Minstein. I'm the president of the Louisville Federation of Musicians, Local 11637 of the American Federation of Musicians in the United States and Canada. Every year I appear in front of the council. There is a program called the Community Music Partnership, the CMP. Has $30,000 in funding allocated by the mayor's office every year for one purpose only, presenting live music around our city and county. The only caveat is music must be free, available to the public, and not in support of any political, religious, or business entity. Why am I here? Every year, and you'll see this on one of the pages, every year we end the year with anywhere from a half to a third of the money unspent. That's music that can be presented in nursing homes, in parks, on street corners, festivals, neighborhood gatherings, an opportunity to bring music and make Louisville a true music city. In fact, if you drive down Bardstown Road past my office during the week prior to Derby, I have live music in front of our Union Hall, because I want Louisville to be another music city. What do you all have to do? Very little. Erica Taylor, is it? I'm sorry, I'm drawing blank. She's, let me see here. Erica Turner is the administrative assistant for the Metro Council. She works very closely with my union, presenting music. On the back page of the handout, I've given you my phone number, my email address, the email address of our local and my office. If you want to put music, we're happy to provide professional musicians to perform that music. We have put musicians under the CMP program at the Tyler Park Jazz Festival, Bardstown Road Aglow. We had live music at the Belle of Louisville on Saturday mornings for people waiting to board the boat. Folks, we got the money. All you gotta do is help me spend it. Will it put my musicians to work? Absolutely. Is that a bad thing? I don't think it is. They're citizens of our community. They're voters too. They'd be just as happy to get the gig from you as they would from me. One idea I had, and I recommend this for consideration by you guys, at a certain point in time, let's call it March 1st, let's call it April 1st. If the money isn't spent in a district, and yes, there are districts that never spend their money year after year, let's put that into one fund that every district can get to. I'm sorry, my time is up. Are there any questions? I have theater tickets and I just have time to get to them. Thank you very much. Next, we have approval of council minutes for the regular meetings of January 29th, 2026. Are there any corrections or deletions? Motion. Second. All those in favor of the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? The minutes are approved as written. Next, we have approval of the following committee minutes, all in 2026. The special committee of the whole, January 29th. The regular planning and zoning committee meeting, February 3rd. The regular labor and economic development, February 3rd. The regular government oversight audit and appointments, February 3rd. The regular equity, community affairs, housing.
Healthy Business Connect Us empowers families to thrive through holistic well-being, early child development, and accessible health care. We are committed to fostering connections, knowledge sharing, and support networks that enhance the physical, mental, and emotional health of children, parents, and caregivers.
By building bridges between healthcare providers, social services organizations, educators, and families,
we aspire to create a world where every child experiences a healthy and nurturing start.
Setting the foundation for a brighter future.
Through every note, every performance, the arts connect us. The arts connect us through joy and through awe, bridging cultures and generations. From intimate theaters to the grandest stages, the arts bring us together, reminding us that we're never truly alone. When we experience the arts, we experience each other. Kentucky Performing Arts. The arts connect us.
Si no haces nada más,
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 mantente vivo.